Good afternoon, everyone. It's a while since I've been live. I think it's 2 weeks, maybe, since I was last live. I can't really remember, to be honest. Every day is very much like another. But yeah, hope you all had a great Christmas. And I guess some of you might still be enjoying the festivities. It's that awkward period in between Christmas and New Year where yeah, people lose track of days. Unless you're working as normal, and then it's just a normal day to you. But I hope you're all well. And this is a case that I've been meaning to cover for a little while now. But I was really busy before Christmas, not just covering the Idaho 4 murders, but also doing the Cold Case Christmas series that I was doing over on Michelle Walks. So although I was aware of this case, I didn't have the headspace. I honestly did not have the headspace for another missing child, honestly. But now my head is clearer, and I'm going to talk about Madalina. So I know that quite a few of you have been watching this case and know about this case, because I think certainly in the last week, this is probably the most requested case that I've had in quite a while. Quite a few people have asked me, am I going to cover this case? And it was always my intention, but here we are at long last. And there are a couple of updates because Madalina's parents, well, her mother and her stepfather, were in court yesterday. Not a very interesting update, to be honest, but it's an update nonetheless. And also, someone on Twitter has translated some information that was in Romanian into English. And this is information from Madalina's aunt, so her mother's sister. So I'm going to start at the beginning, just in case people haven't heard of this case or know very much about it. So I'm going to kind of give you the background to begin with, and then we'll get into the updates. Let's just say a few hellos, though, whilst people are coming in. Hello, Holly. Grey Wolf Paranormal. Be a shiner, not a whiner. If I had a prize, for the best YouTube name, you'd be winning it today. Burlington Park, hello. We're real mad here. Bama Cat, Mona Hughes, Rambling Rome, Trixie Star, hi Trixie, Renee, Lynn, Purple AJ, Linda, Heather Feather, JD, can't even read. Rona, hello, Kate, who else? Suzette, NC Trish. It's about 45 minutes from you. Wow, so that's quite local, isn't it? Ashley, Jack. Who else have we got? Anna Jean, Petunia, Okie Dokie, Colleen, S. Firstly, Angel, Corey, lots of people coming in now. Patty Girl, Dina, Fern. Hello, everyone. Hello. All right, so let's start at the very beginning with this case. And how did she go missing? What's the circumstances? Indeed? Well, therein lies the problem. Because nobody's talking. So Madalina's now been missing for 5 weeks. But the problem is, for 3 of those weeks, nobody knew she was missing. Nobody was looking for her. Actually, her school were looking for her. Her school were trying to contact her parents, but the parents weren't getting back to them. So Madalina's 11, And this case is out of Cornelius in North Carolina. And the police, quite rightly in my opinion, believe that the parents know way more than they're letting on. So, but they're not talking, which is why this information from Madalina's aunt is interesting. It might not be true, but it's interesting nonetheless. So what happened to Madalina? Why did her parents not report her missing for 22 days after they claimed to have last seen her? I mean, it's insane. Absolutely insane. If the parents weren't involved, why would they have waited over 3 weeks to report her missing? And they didn't even report her missing properly at that point. Madalina's mother, Diana, went into school and said she hasn't seen her. She hasn't seen her for 3 weeks. So the last confirmed sighting of Madalina was getting off her school bus. There was a camera on the school bus. So we know she was alive and well on the 21st of November, getting off the bus. Okay, so her mother, Madalina Cojocari, and her stepfather, Christopher Parmiter, claim that they last saw her on the 23rd of November. But there's even a complication there because they're not giving a wholly consistent timeline either. But we don't know. Police have been able to, they've not been able to verify whether she was last alive and well on the 23rd of November, like her mother and stepfather claim. So the 21st of November is the date I'm going with, quite honestly, because that's the last confirmed sighting of Madalina getting off the school bus. So what happened after she got off the school bus shortly before 5 p.m. on the 21st of November? So for the next 3 weeks, staff at Madalina's school, which is Bailey Middle School, contacted her mother to inquire as to where Madalina was. Why was she not at school? But to no avail. Couldn't get in touch. And then it was on the 15th of December that Diana Cojocari went into school and told the school that she was missing. So it was school officials, not the mother or the stepfather. It was the school that contacted law enforcement. Now, yeah, what's wrong with these parents, Vicky? Absolutely. Now, look, guys, I'm very fair. If you know my channel, if you know my coverage of cases, I do not automatically blame the parents. I'm not that person. I know a lot of people are, and I complain. I complain bitterly about those people. I want to get a really kind of broad set of information before I blame anybody. Before I say, look, that person's suspect. To me, you know, what opinion mine is just another person on the internet. But you know, as a true crime follower and as a true crime creator, I'm not going to say I believe anybody looks suspect until I've got a broad range of information, until I know as much about the situation as I can. I'll remain open-minded about everybody involved. So I'm not blaming the parents simply to blame the parents. I very rarely do that. I did it in Quinton Simon's case very early on because Leilani Simon just screamed guilty to me right from the very beginning. And this is another case where guilt is screaming at me because of the circumstances in which they wait 3 weeks. Her mother waits 22 days to alert the school that her daughter's missing, goes into school. Now, what possessed her to go in on the 15th of December? I don't know. She could have waited longer. I don't know. But she did. This is what she did. So it was school that alerted law enforcement that Madalina was missing. So there we go. This is the last confirmed sighting, and it's just a few seconds of her on the school bus. Now, the other kids' faces obviously are covered, blurred out, quite rightly so. This article I'm reading is from The Independent, but you can get this footage. This footage is all over, and it's just a few seconds, and it's 4:59 on the 21st of November. So this is Madalina here. So you literally see her for a few seconds, if this will play. Here we go. So that's it. Literally, that's all it is. And that's the last confirmed sighting. So she was alive and well. She looked fine getting off the school bus. Just another normal day. So what happened? What has happened since? They say she ran away. Yeah. If she ran away, why did they wait 3 weeks and let school call law enforcement? I do not believe that at all. Holly, what was life like for this child at home? I don't know, but the mother is claiming that she's scared of Madalina's stepdad. So we could say perhaps there was some domestic violence, or we could say that she's lying and she's trying to pin it on him. But as neither parent is speaking, neither parent is cooperating with the police, as far as we know anyway, then we don't know. We don't know. So 17th of December, Madalina's mother and stepfather were arrested. In North Carolina, it's actually a crime. So this is how they've got them in jail. Failing to report the disappearance of a child is actually a crime in North Carolina. So that's fortunate. Or else they'd just be out. There'd be nothing to there'd be nothing to hold them on. So both suspects appeared in court yesterday. So I'll talk about that in a second. I'll just carry on with the background. Not really anything to report from the court, to be honest. They didn't appear. That's it, really. But they've continued to insist that they don't know where Madalina is or what happened to her. So whatever timeline they've given, and they're saying that they last saw her on the 23rd, can't be verified in any way. So, like I said, I'm going to conclude that her disappearance happened on the 21st because that's the last time she was seen. So, anyway. But court documents that have been obtained reveal that Madalina's mother told investigators she last saw her around 10 p.m. on the 23rd of November when she went to bed. And then she claims, now this is a red flag, then she claims that she and her husband got into an argument that night. But she's already, she's cited Madalina in bed at this point. right? So it was after 10 p.m. when this argument occurred. Now, this is the ultimate in suspicion for me, that they got into an argument on the night of the 23rd of November. And then the following morning, stepdad decided to travel to Michigan, to his family's home, all the way to Michigan to pick up some things. Right, okay, so I don't know. It's just odd that he just decided to go to Michigan to pick up some things from the family's home. He must come from Michigan. And then it was 11:30 a.m. on the 24th of November. That's when Madalina Cojocari noted that her daughter was missing. So what day was the 24th of November? Hold on a minute. What day was it? 24th of November. Hold on a minute. So that was a Thursday, 24th of November, but that was Thanksgiving Day, wasn't it? So there'll be no school on that day. I am right, aren't I? Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, thanks, NC Trish. So there'll be no school on that day. So the fact that Madalina slept in wouldn't be unusual, right? She only went to bed late on the 23rd. So it's conceivable that she lies in, right? And Diana finds her not in her room. Well, at that point, right, wouldn't you call the cops at that point? If you saw your 11-year-old daughter the night before at 10 p.m. and then you didn't hear from them or see them at all, and then they weren't in their bedroom when you thought they'd been sleeping, you'd call the cops, wouldn't you? Regardless of the situation, you'd call the cops. But no calling of no cops. No, not for this lady, not for Madalina Cojocari. No, didn't call anyone. So she said, though, that although Madalina doesn't have a phone and she doesn't have any friends or family that she could be with, right, Christina has been a member for 3 months. Wishing me a Happy New Year early. Happy New Year to you too as well, Christina. Thanks for your support. But she noted that a book bag and some of her clothes had gone missing. So this implies that Madalina has run away, right? But she told cops that she didn't call them because she had to wait for her husband to return home on the 26th to ask him if he knew where Madalina was. This is an absolute BS story. I'm sorry, guys. It's BS. This story is BS. Right? Even if, right, this is Diana, this is Christopher. Even if Christopher was a violent thug, right? A really violent thug. Would you wait 2 days for him to come back to ask him if he's seen Madalina? Or would you just call the cops? Yes, she's in custody, Holly. Yeah. Wouldn't you, though? I mean, I understand domestic violence. I understand when people are scared, when people are, scared out of their mind and don't think straight. But when your daughter's missing, do you really, and when your partner's not there, right? When you could get protection. Scottish lass, welcome to the Secret Agents Club. Thanks for joining memberships. That's very kind of you. Right. I can't do it. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. That you don't call the cops because you've got to wait for him to come home. And then when he comes home, he's not got Madalina. So you still don't call the cops. You still don't call them. I don't get it. I don't get it. So when asked why she didn't report her daughter missing before mid-December, 15th of December, and remember, she wasn't the one that called law enforcement, the school did. She stated she was worried it might start a conflict between her and Christopher. Cassie, what are you chewing? What are you chewing? Oh, you can have it. I don't care. She's fighting me for it. I don't even know what it is. It's like a bag or something. She's brought a bone in this room so she can chew a bone. She's brought it in herself. But instead, she's rooting around for things that she can chew that aren't her bone. I don't even want to know. I don't ask. I just don't ask. So if this was a domestic violence relationship, right, and she was so scared that calling the cops to report Madalina missing would cause a conflict, has she been living in complete and total fear for all that time and not being able to tell anybody about it? Who would you put first? If this was you, who would you put first? Would you put first your husband, who you might start a conflict with, or would you put your daughter first? Exactly, Holly. Your responsibility as a mother is to protect your child. Any mother would call immediately. Yes, Rach. Now, we're all, right? We're all judging, right? I feel very judgy at the moment, but this is just logic to me. That domestic violence or no domestic violence, surely your overriding emotion would be, where is Madalina? Where is my daughter? And regardless of the conflict it's going to cause, you would call the cops, because she can call the cops and then seek protection. Barb, thank you for the $2. Something about gold and silver was reported. That he's got gold and silver, or I don't know what you mean by that, but thank you for the $2. So, originally, Diana is from Moldova, and she claims that family members in Moldova have urged her to call the police about her daughter's disappearance, but she wouldn't do so. So apparently she's told her family members that Madalina's missing. And when we see what the aunt has to say about it, it becomes very, very interesting. But she's clearly blaming him. Now, it might be him. It might well be him. But if it is him, she needs to talk. Right? If she's telling her family members that it's him that's put her family in danger, then what do we mean by that? What does she mean by that? Bob, I haven't heard about gold and silver. I haven't heard about that. I haven't heard about that. Donut, did the seller arrange marriage? We don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Meanwhile, Christopher Parmiter told investigators that he doesn't know what happened to Madalina, claiming that he returned from his 3-day trip and asked his wife where Madalina was. So when he left on the morning of the 24th, presumably, right, if what he's saying is true, Madalina would still have been in bed when he left early on the 24th of November. And then he spent 3 days, so 24th, 25th, returned on the 26th in Michigan. If he's telling the truth, Madalina was safe at home, except she wasn't. So when he got home, and yeah, he's not her biological father, but still, he's got, you know, a responsibility that Madalina's living with him. Why didn't he call the cops and say, my stepdaughter's been missing? I've been to Michigan. He can prove that he's been to Michigan. All he has to say is, she was in bed. I left early on the 24th. She was in bed when I left, and she was safe and well when I left. Why didn't he call the cops? So it's absolute nonsense. Both of them are just BSing. They're just BSing, both of them. Whether they've concocted a story together, I've no idea. No idea. But yeah, there's been a huge amount of searching. But you know, it's 22 days later since she was last seen. So, you know, we know, don't we, with missing kids, we know that the first few hours, if you wait a few hours to report a missing kid, every hour that goes by reduces the chances that that kid is going to be brought home safe and well. You know, if a child runs away or a child is taken, every hour that they're missing, especially a kid as young as 11, really, really reduces their odds of being found safe and well. Now, we know that kids are found safe and well, sometimes after weeks. You know, if they've been resourceful, or they've been taken by someone who hasn't murdered them, but who's, you know, taken them for a different reason, and they're safe and well. They might not be well, but they, you know, they come home, right? So the cops are playing catch up, like seriously playing catch up here. But the FBI has been involved. The SBI has been involved. Cornelius Police Department. So this is an article from yesterday, so on Tuesday, so this would be 2 days ago. Captain Thompson said investigators have so far followed more than 250 leads spanning across both state lines and the globe, carried out 100 interviews with individuals in North Carolina and further afield, canvassed door-to-door 245 homes and businesses in the Victoria Bay neighbourhood, so in the vicinity of Madalina's home. And the police captain said that investigators have scoured hours of surveillance cameras, videos from local businesses. They've carried out land searches, boots on the ground, water searches. They searched Lake Cornelius just in case she did run away and she fell in, or her body was put in there, but that came up with nothing. I mean, that was a big deal, you know, searching that lake. But yeah, the police captain says one of the challenges in this case, simply put, is when we were not notified she was gone, a delay of 3 weeks. So I don't know. I don't know. But then on the 21st of December, a large search team searched the home. It had been searched before, but there was a kind of a new team went in on the 21st. Apparently, officials were seen digging up a bat in the backyard. So they'd have had ground penetrating radar, I guess. Presumably, they've taken cadaver dogs in. I don't know, but I assume they have. Strangely, now this is another massive problem for this case. Inside the property, officials found a secret area in the kitchen blocked off with plywood. Now, that could be something or nothing. You know, we could let our minds run away with ourselves and think, were they keeping Madalina there? You know, were they torturing her? Were they, you know, was she at school just looked like a normal little girl, but her home life was atrocious and she was being literally caged? But I don't know whether I'd go so far as to say that. There's no evidence of that. But Christopher Parmiter said that he'd been planning to make a separate kind of apartment, like a separate room in that space. So I guess that could be the case. You know, it could be that this was the early stages of a home renovation. So it might not have been a secret compartment. It might have just been the beginnings of a home renovation. So there might be something and nothing in that. Right, probably nothing. But when I found that out, I was like, what? What? But I let my mind run a little bit. But no, I think possibly he's telling the truth there, that this wasn't some kind of secret hideaway. You know, I'm thinking along the lines of, Joseph Fritzl, you know, keeping his daughter prisoner in the basement, like this specially crafted basement for like years and years and years. And she had multiple children by him in this basement. You know, my mind went there for a second or two. And then I thought, no, this could just be a simple home renovation. But we don't know. We don't know what was found inside the home. That hasn't been said. Now, the missing girl's family members over in Moldova have been devastated, and this handwritten note, I'm going to read it to you in a minute, has surfaced. Now, we don't know exactly who's written this. It's just from the family, like the extended family of Madalina. So, you know, it's not, I guess it's like a, you know, family, all the family have got together and decided to write this. And this is dated December 22nd. We as a family are devastated and absolutely heartbroken to learn that Madalina is missing. We love Madalina and are shocked by these circumstances. This is something no child or family should ever have to endure. Our family is doing everything we know to do to support the efforts to find Madalina and bring her home. We are and continue to have hope and positivity in this difficult time and pray that she is found safe very soon. We know and greatly appreciate that the local, state, national and online communities have come together to share flyers, offer positive support and hold prayer vigils, support law enforcement, and are doing everything possible to find and bring Madalina safely home. We are also appreciative of all the efforts, endless hours, and boots on the ground of the local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. Something the same goal. I guess have the same goal. Madalina is a beautiful, smart, kind, and loving 11-year-old girl with greatness in her future. We are desperate to find her right now. She needs all of our help. We ask for your continued positive support in sharing far and wide the posters and pictures of Madalina. Each and every share may be one step closer to finding her. If you believe you have seen Madalina or any information related to her whereabouts, please contact your local law enforcement agency or the Cornelius, North Carolina Police Department and come forward with this information. Anything may help. Our family would like to express sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for your support. Our family will continue to do everything we know and learn to do for Madalina's safe return home. Blessings. So that's where we were at as of the 22nd. Now, yesterday, there was a court appearance scheduled for Madalina. And the number that's being shared, actually, in relation to her case is the FBI one. So I guess if you do have any information about Madalina, yes, you can contact your local law enforcement or you can contact Cornelius PD. But this is the FBI number, 1-800-CALL-FBI. But there was a court appearance for them yesterday. I need to change my tab. I forgot to change my tab. But there's the FBI number, 1-800-CALL-FBI. So yesterday, both Diana Cojocari and Christopher Parmiter were in court yesterday. Neither of them appeared. The bond hasn't changed. So both remain in Mecklenburg County Jail as of Wednesday. Diana is being held on a $250,000 bond. And Christopher Parmiter's bond is $200,000. So if they make bond, right, if they pull some money out the bag and make bond, then they will have to wear ankle monitors and surrender their passports. So those are the conditions of their bond. So they're in jail as of today. Nothing's changed. No other action was taken by the state or the defence. It was literally just the judge's announcement that they must surrender their passports as conditions of their bond and wear ankle bracelets if they post bond. But I'm not convinced. I don't think any bondsman is gonna give them money to post bond, and unless they've got a significant wad of cash hanging around, then they're going to remain in jail. So remember, at the moment they're in jail, both of them, for failing to and the bang to rights. You know, they've both admitted that they didn't see her. They both say that they last saw her on the 23rd of November. And then neither of them called the cops to report her missing. So under North Carolina law, they are bang to rights. They're going to do whatever jail time that crime affords them. I don't know what that crime affords in jail time, but they're going to be found guilty because they've admitted to not, to her being missing, to knowing that she was missing for 3 weeks, and neither of them bothering to call the cops. So they're going to be in jail for a while. But the other interesting thing is this. I want to share this with you. So this is on Twitter. Why will it not let me go back? Oh, there we go. So this was posted 17 hours ago now. I don't know when this phone call took place, but Diana spoke to her sister on the phone, and then this article has just been written up in a Facebook group. So we can't vouch. Nobody can vouch for the accuracy of this. We can't vouch that the phone call between Diana and her sister revealed any truth, that Diana told any truth at all. But it's interesting. And given that we know so little about the situation, as in Madalina's situation at home or Diana's and Christopher's situation, then I just find it interesting. I think it's worthy of some consideration, but just with that caveat that we don't know whether it's truthful or not. But it seems that whatever they've been saying to law enforcement also isn't truthful. So why would we think this was truthful when what they've told law enforcement clearly isn't true? I mean, it's just BS, honestly. Rachel, yeah, Madalina was meant to be at school. It was the school that alerted. It was the school that called law enforcement. It was the school that called law enforcement. She was last seen, I don't know whether you missed the beginning, but she was last seen getting off her school bus on the 21st of November. And she hasn't been seen since. Now, the schools would have been out for Thanksgiving. So the last time she was apparently seen, the 23rd of November, and then her mother realised she was missing on the 24th, that was Thanksgiving Day. So there wouldn't have been any school on Thanksgiving Day. But when the kids went back to school, so do the kids get Thursday, Friday, and then go back on Monday? I don't know, because we don't have Thanksgiving in the UK. The school did try to contact Diana to find out where Madalina was. The school did their bit, but it wasn't until the 15th of December that Diana actually went into school and told them that Madalina had been missing for 3 weeks, and then they called the cops. So the mother did not call the cops. It was the school that called the cops. So it's, yeah, crazy. So again, this was posted in a Facebook group, and this is what transpired between Diana and her sister. It's been translated using Google Translate. So if you've used Google Translate before, it's not great, but the original's out there. The original's apparently written in Romanian. So if you can read Romanian, then obviously you can go and find the original. But this is what this post said. And again, I'm not vouching that there's an ounce of truth, that there's one sentence of truth in this. I just think it's just an interesting thing to report on, given that the whole story seems to be BS. So what's a bit more BS? And you never know that there might be some ounces, some little bits of truth in this, right? We don't know. We just don't know. Okay, so on the 13th or 14th, so this would have been December, because Madalina was fine on the 13th or 14th of November, because she was seen alive and well getting off her school bus on the 21st of November. So this must be December. So on the 13th or 14th, she talked to her sister on the phone. So when we're talking about she, we're talking about Diana. This is Diana, Madalina's mother, talking to her sister, so Madalina's aunt, on the phone. So she talked to her sister on the phone, and this would have been from jail, because she was in jail at that time. So this call would have been recorded because she was in jail. right? So eventually this call could make its way into evidence anyway. But, you know, excuse me. Oh, I need a little drink. All right, so she talked to her sister on the phone. She was emotional. She was crying. She was upset. She thought that everything was falling apart around her. Although she was alone at home, she carefully measured her words with great fear, saying that her phone was being listened to or computer controlled. Remember, this is Google Translate. Hold on a minute. She wasn't at home. What? I think this is probably just a problem with Google Translate. Probably what the real meaning was, and if anybody can read Romanian, if you can translate it, that would be great for us who can't read Romanian, rather than having to rely on Google Translate. So if anybody can do it properly, I think what that will mean is when she was alone at home. So when Diana was alone at home, not that she was alone at home on the 13th or 14th, she couldn't have been. She was in jail, right? Because they were arrested on the... No, she wasn't. Hold on. I'm confused. No, she was arrested on the 27th of November. Hold on a minute. Let me just check the date, because it's in this article here. She was definitely in jail. She was in jail on the 27th. Hold on. Can't find it now. But I know they were both in jail. I know they were. So it must mean, what I think Google should have said was, when she's at home alone, she has to measure her words with great fear and feeling that even her phone's being listened to. So her phone's being bugged. All right. So we could read between the lines here and say that she was living in fear, that she was afraid of her husband. That's absolutely true, Birdie, that if she's afraid of her husband, he might have told her not to say anything. Absolutely. But I'll say again, if your daughter's missing, you know, unless he's literally got you captive and not allowing you the use of a phone and not allowing you anything, you know, any contact at all with the outside world, then wouldn't you call the cops anyway, even if you were afraid? You know, she'd literally have to be kept prisoner for her not to be able to call the cops. And if that's the case, then she needs to start talking. If Christopher's done something, if she's been living in fear all this time and Christopher's done something to Madalina, and then during this trip to Michigan, let's just imagine, theoretically, he took her body to Michigan and buried her somewhere out there, right, then she needs to say that. She needs to tell the truth. If indeed that's what's happened. Now, could she conceivably literally not know what happened to Madalina? Yeah. However, she had 2 days, as I said earlier. He went to Michigan on the 24th. She realized Madalina was missing on the 24th, right? 24th of November. He was in Michigan on the 24th, the 25th, and then came back on the 26th. So she had 3 days there where she could have called the cops and got help for herself, where Christopher wasn't there. So I'm sorry if I do sound judgmental, and I'm not saying this wasn't a domestic violence situation, but there was time for her to call the cops, get help for herself, and to report Madalina missing. And you never know, Madalina might have still been alive at that point. She might still be alive now. It's just a lot longer down the road. If she'd reported her missing on the 24th, she'd actually only been missing a few hours. If indeed what they say is true, that they last saw her on the 23rd. So I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, she's scared at home. She feels like her phone, I guess, is being bugged or something. So the sister asks her by whom, and she says by her husband or by the people her husband appointed. So I don't know whether that means that her husband employed, because I believe he works in tech. I believe that's his kind of job. She was crying a lot and was very afraid of her husband, saying she doesn't want to blame him, that she feels guilty for allowing something like this in the last 2 years, and that she feels followed by someone even when she spends the little girl's time at school. So it must be when the little girl is at school. So when Madalina's at school, she feels like she's being followed. Or when she goes shopping. Her greatest desire now is to find the girl. Her sister was asked if she somehow told her on the phone what she supposes happened to the little girl. She answered saying she supposes her husband. So Diana, talking to her sister, says that she thinks her husband did something. So she's blaming Christopher because she's got great fear of him. It's confusing. I know it's confusing. No, Taz knows, or Toz knows, because this was originally written in Romanian and it's been translated using Google Translate. So Google Translate isn't great. So that's why I'm saying if anybody can read Romanian, if you can get hold of the original and do your own translation, that would be really helpful, because Google Translate, you get the gist of it, but we might be missing some nuance here. Like I'm having to read between some of these lines because some of the words haven't translated well. But if anybody can read Romanian, then it would be really useful. If I was still working at my old job, there was quite a few people who could speak Romanian and read Romanian, and I would have very easily been able to get the translation myself. But I've no longer got contact with those people, so I can't do it. Okay, so he cried continuously as if he did not realize the situation. Then he spoke and cried again. So I don't know who we're referring to here. I don't know whether that's Christopher crying, because we've now got a male pronoun in here. I don't know. I don't understand that bit. She also told her sister that on the day the girl disappeared, November 23rd, she woke up in the morning as if she'd woken up from a general anesthesia. Vomiting, nausea, dizziness, severe headaches, and the first thing she did, she went to the little girl's room to see if she was feeling well. If she was not feeling well as she was. Hold on a minute. This must be November 24th. Because if we're going from the court documents, unless this is another lie, we caught her in a lie, because in the court documents, she said she last saw her, Diana last saw Madalina on the 23rd at 10 p.m. when Madalina went to bed. And then it was the 24th so Thanksgiving Day, when she woke up and went in Madalina's room at 11:30 and realised she wasn't there. So is this just a typo? Is this a typo in the translator? You know, just made a typo. Is this just a mistake of the sister communicating this to somebody? Or is this a lie? So I've got to assume that this is actually the 24th, because the court documents say that she went in to the room on the 24th, and that's when she realised Madalina was missing. So anyway, she woke up feeling clearly ill, vomiting, nausea, dizziness, severe headaches. So she went into Madalina's room to see if Madalina was also feeling unwell. Now that could be anything, couldn't it? She could have been drugged. It could be a translation misinterpretation. Mother last saw her 23rd. Sister interprets it as the demon. Yeah. It could be anything. It could be anything. So I think we'll assume this is a 23rd. No, sorry, the 24th, and this 23rd is a mistake. So possibly Diana's been drugged, or she's just ill. You know, she's got a bug. You know, when you've got a bug, you feel nauseous, dizzy, faint. You feel faint, you get a headache. Perfectly legitimate thing to do, that Diana's going to assume that Madalina might also be feeling unwell, that she might have a bug. So she went in, and that's when she realised she was no longer in her room. So she also mentions, so this is Diana talking to her sister, that Christopher, her husband, went to Michigan for 3 days. He said, so it must be she said, he immediately set out and looked for the girl all over. This must be she. This must be she. So Diana set out and looked for the girl all over the area where she lives, the whole neighborhood. She searched the neighborhood. So she was able, whilst Christopher was in Michigan, she was able to leave the house. All right, let's just get this clear, because if she was literally kept captive, like I said, she had 3 days. She had 3 days to get help for herself, but also report Madalina missing. Don't know. Lockdown with April. It's a very good question. Was this trip planned? We don't know. All we know from the court documents is that they had an argument on the 23rd, on the night of the 23rd, and then early on the 24th, he decided to go to Michigan to pick some things up from a family home in Michigan. So he must have a home in Michigan, or his family do. So he went all the way from North Carolina to Michigan to pick some stuff up, right? And then came back on the 26th. So she had all day on the 24th, all day on the 25th, and then part of the 26th, where she was able to go out. This is why this information is so interesting, because, yeah, it could be complete lies. She might not have searched at all, right? She might have just sat on her arse and not searched at all. Barb, can I play the video of the mom? Thanks for the $2. I can if I can find it. But I know which the weird one. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, the weird video. I know the one you're talking about. I haven't got it saved. Where was it? Was it on TikTok, or was it on Instagram? If somebody can find the link to it, I'll play it. But I know which video you're talking about. But it's a few years old, though. It's like a couple of years old. So I don't know how really useful it is. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird video. But I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, so in her words, she went out and she searched the whole neighborhood, but didn't bother calling the police. Right? Didn't bother calling the police. I'll try and find it. Lockdown with April. You've not seen the video. I'll try and find it, but I can't remember. I can't remember where I saw it, or whether it was a TikTok or Instagram. I'll try and find it after this. Okay, so she said she did not inform the police because she's very afraid of her husband. The sister does not explain why she had this fear, because she knows her well. She knows what kind of person she is. Not really sure what that means, but anyway. How do I move? There we go. Okay. So after talking to her sister and her mother, they advised her to go immediately to ask for help. So it was the sister, so Diana's sister and Diana's mother, who told her that she's got to go and ask for help. So that's what she's saying as to why she went to the school. So that makes sense. If she spoke to her sister on the 13th or the 14th of December, and then she went to the school on the 15th of December, then it might have been on the advice of her sister and her mother. But still, 3 weeks have gone by where she hasn't bothered to get any help at all. Okay, so she went to the school, and then together with the school, they went to the police. It was actually the school that called the police, not her. This is the real version. What that means. The sister says that she read on the internet that her sister is an alcoholic, a drug addict, but she guarantees that this is not true. So Diana's sister says that the things that have been talked about on the internet, such as that she's a drug addict, she's an alcoholic, according to her sister, Madalina's aunt, they're not true. She says that she comes from a good normal family of intellectual parents, father a teacher, mother an accountant, who worked honestly all their lives. The aunt from Moldova anonymously says that Diana's only fault is that she did not go to the police sooner to report the girl's disappearance. That was a huge mistake. I don't know about the only fault. It was a huge mistake. Excuse me. The world also says about Diana that she's mentally ill. But the sister says that she subscribes with her hand, and that is not true. This is Google. This is Google. I don't know what that means. She guarantees 100% that this is not true. So she's not mentally ill. So this is according to. It's Google Translate. It's Google Translate. I think it probably means that she swears. You know, I think it just means she swears it's not true. She guarantees it's not true. So the stories of her being mentally ill, the stories of her being a drug user and an alcoholic, according to her sister, Madalina's aunt, are not true. But obviously, we've no idea. We've no idea whether the aunt is lying. We've no idea whether Diana's story's a lie. We've no idea. I just thought this was interesting that this has come out, and it's worth some thoughts, really. Could be. Who said what? Like, yeah, subscribes with a hand, so maybe like hand to God. Yeah. Anyway, that's make of it what you will. Make of it what you will. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let me see if I can find this video. If anybody's got the link to it. Others video. We've got a newspaper article talking about it here. Is that turned over? Yeah. Internet shocked after video emerges of 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari's mom Diana promoting violence. A new video has started making rounds in which missing Madalina's mother Diana could be heard talking about violence and how one should not avoid it. Will it tell me where it's from? A Twitter user found the video in which the 11-year-old's mother could be heard saying, "Is something wrong with being violent? It's nothing wrong. It's just a crude way of conducting life. If you say violence is bad, that means you end up rejecting part of yourself and you can never get free of it because it will not go. It will come out in so many ways." Will it tell me where? Is this it? This could be it. This is it. This is it. Okay, this is it. So this is from Legacy on Twitter. All right. Can I make this bigger? Possibly. Well, that's as big as it's going to get. All right. It's very low. I remember when I listened to it. It's very low. Now I'm going to turn my volume up as high as I can, but it is still very low. So don't complain at me. I've got my audio booster on, right? So there's nothing I can do about the sound, but I've got the volume up as high as it will go at my end. All right. So this is the video. It's 3 minutes long.
Violent. Is something wrong of being violent? It is nothing wrong. It is just a crude way of conducting life. If you say violence is bad, that means you will end up rejecting a part of yourself and you can never get rid of it because it will not go. It will come out in so many ways. People are very peaceful on the streets, but pretty violent at home. If they are not capable of physical violence, they are verbally violent, or they are violent in their thoughts or emotions, or so many other ways. So rejecting violence, it's not going to work. Evolving violence into a more sophisticated action, it is a need. The need is not for violence, and we people must understand. The need is for the intensity of this feeling, the feeling of being intense. The need for that intensity is always that there, somewhere inside you, stays that intensity, the need of expressing yourself, that special part of you in every human being. If you do not refine that need for intensity, manifesting yourself in your special manner, and manage to experience that intensity by simply sitting in the meditativeness, by simply going into the moment of your perfect happiness. Remember the moments when you were perfectly happy in your childhood. By going into this kind of meditation, that will help you bring into the present moment, wherever you are, whatever you do, just by sitting in the meditation and bringing that peace from your childhood. And the moment when you are perfectly happy will make you change your ways, will help you calm down, will help you feel better, secure, and right where you are supposed to be. You'll find peace into your heart, into your mind, into your soul, and that will help you recreate, reorganize your life, and put that intensity that is in you into a positive manner. This is the moment of the perfect happiness. Remember that moment and always protect it. Appreciate God and tell God that you are thankful for having this possibility of being yourself.
Well, yeah, it's pretty strange, isn't it? Pretty strange. If I'm going to be kind about this, what I took it to be was some kind of meditation that if you accept parts of yourself, you know, the angry parts of yourself, then, you know, meditate, think about your childhood, think about positive things. It could be something like that, and it's just the way that it's being communicated is off a little bit. Remember, English isn't her first language. However, it is a bit weird. It's very strange. It is very strange. Having said that, it is a couple of years old. Now, when I first saw this, I clicked on a link. I'm sure I clicked on a link on Twitter, and it took me to the original. I'm listening to this, or you just listened to this from a news article that linked from Twitter. When I watched it, I think I clicked on it from Twitter, but it took me to the original site, and I can't remember whether it was Facebook, TikTok. It doesn't look like it's TikTok. It doesn't have a little TikTok symbol. It could have been Instagram, but without trying to find that original account again, I don't know. And it was a couple of years old, so it's not like she's been recording these videos while Madalina's been missing. But even so, it's still a bit odd. I could give her the benefit of the doubt and say, I think I kind of can read between the lines and know what she means. And English isn't her first language, and perhaps just the communication's off. And I think she's talking about if you feel angry, you know, accept those parts of yourself, but meditate, think about the positives, think about your childhood, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't know why she recorded it and put it on the internet, though. So I don't know. But she does speak she speaks good English. She's, you know, she's not, it's not like she's come to the United States not being able to speak English at all. Right? You know, that if she was basically, you know, kept prisoner by Christopher and she couldn't speak English, so she couldn't call the cops because she, you know, she thought that they wouldn't understand her, and she didn't understand that they'd be able to get a translator. That's not true, is it? Because she can speak very good English. She's very articulate. Yeah, absolutely. She's very articulate. But still, English is not her first language. But she would be very capable of calling 911 and saying, my daughter is missing. Right? If she can talk about meditation and about accepting the violent parts of yourself, and she can communicate that on the internet, then she can make a call to 911 to say, my daughter is missing. So I know a lot of people in the comments are saying this is some kind of cult, that she's been brainwashed, she's been programmed. Maybe. I'm not gonna say, no, you're being far-fetched, because cults are a thing. Cults happen. And because we've got absolutely no idea, nothing to go off as to what happened to Madalina at all, other than some BS, then everything's on the cards. Everything's a possibility. We can't exclude anything. You know, I'm always I'm going to put Madalina's picture back up. Just a second. There we go. You know, I always say Occam's razor. You know, that usually the simplest explanation, it turns out to be the one that's the truth. But we've no idea. We've no idea where to start. So when you've no idea where to start, you don't even know what the simplest explanation is. Because if Christopher and Diana were part of some cult, and they were, right? We don't know if they were, not really. But if they were, then the simplest explanation as to what happened to Madalina was, well, it's something to do with this cult. Do you see what I mean? That because we've got absolutely no idea, there's no starting point whatsoever. We don't know what day she went missing. Then we've no idea where to start. Not even from the day she went missing. We've no idea where to start. So we can listen to her sister, to Diana's sister, who says Diana isn't mentally ill, or she's not on drugs, or she's not an alcoholic, and the internet's wrong. Well, that might be true. She might not be an alcoholic or a drug user or mentally ill, but she could have been brainwashed. And if it's not a cult, she's been brainwashed in another way. We just don't know. We just don't know. And that's why this case, I think, is going to end up being it's one of the reasons why I didn't have the headspace for it when I first heard about it. Because I thought, oh no, not another missing child that's going to go on for months and months and months. Because this has got all the hallmarks of a case that is not going to be solved at all in the near future. Thank you. What is your name? Intuitive Cat, I think that says. Thank you so much for the $4.99. Thank you if you're into true crime and the missing. Enjoy videos on both channels. Thank you. Thanks for the $4.99. You know, it's we've got Summer Wells. We've got Michael Vaughan still out there somewhere. We've got Harmony Montgomery, whose dad's been arrested for murder now, but still no body. We've got Oakley Carlson still out there somewhere. We've got the Cal City Boys, Classic and Sincere, adoptive parents in jail, awaiting trial. Where are they? Where are their bodies? You know, and there's so many. There's so many. And when I heard this case and I heard the basics that she'd been missing 3 weeks before the cops were even aware she was missing, and it wasn't the mother that called the cops, it was the school. I just thought, oh no, not another one. Not another one. Because it's never ending. It's never ending. And when a kid's been missing for 3 weeks before the parents even alert anybody to the fact that she's missing, then the chances of her being found are minute, alive or deceased. They're minute. She could literally be anywhere, alive or deceased. She could be anywhere. And the fact that Christopher Parmiter went to Michigan on the day or the day after she allegedly disappeared is a massive red flag. Because, conceivably, theoretically, Madalina could be anywhere between North Carolina and Michigan. She could be anywhere on that route. How far is that? That's a long way. Hold on a minute. Just going to do a maps here. What am I doing? I can't even spell maps now. Google Maps. All right. I know you can't see it. I'm just doing a Cornelius, North Carolina to Michigan. Does anybody know the town he went? I can't remember. Michigan. I'm just going to do Michigan. All right. Well, here we go. Look at this. Oops. Look at that. 12 and a half hours, 800 miles from Cornelius, North Carolina to Michigan. 12 and a half hours, right? Theoretically speaking, right? Not accusing anybody, but if Christopher Parmiter's got something to do with Madalina's disappearance, then going to Michigan to pick some stuff up. So he's got in his car, drove 800 miles to pick some stuff up, and then drove 800 miles back with that stuff, right? The day after Madalina was last seen, allegedly. Now that, to me, is a long way to go just to pick up some stuff. And it's a big coincidence that he did that journey. The day after Madalina was last seen by her parents. And 3 days after she was last seen at school. I'm not buying it. Holly, you're absolutely right. I'm not buying it either. I'm not buying it. Coincidences happen. Right? This could have been a planned trip. But if Christopher Parmiter has got anything to do with Madalina's disappearance, then Madalina could literally be anywhere between Cornelius, North Carolina, and wherever he went in Michigan. 800 miles of road to cover. And we don't know how far he deviated from that road to put her somewhere, alive or dead. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for blaming the parents here, but this is one of those cases where I'm just not buying this story. And there's too many red flags. Too many red flags for me to say, that these parents are innocent and something else happened to her, that she was abducted from her bedroom or she ran away and something bad happened. I'm just not buying the story. in this case. I'm not buying the story. Knowing is true. You're absolutely right. Knowing is true, Duchess. You're absolutely right. Now, I'm sure that the cops have looked into it. I'm guessing that he'll have taken his phone. They can get that data from his phone. If his car's got GPS, they can get the data from that. They can look at surveillance videos. But it's a lot. 800 miles is a lot of data. A lot of data. But that will be one line of inquiry. That'll be something that they will be doing. I'm sure. I'm sure they will. Because that is the biggest red flag of all for me, is that he did that journey. And having said that, though, he could be innocent. That could have been a planned trip that he'd planned with his family, and he thought Madalina was safe at home. But why did he not call the cops on the 26th when he got home? Why did he not call the cops? That, to me, makes him as guilty as her. Why did he not call the cops? So neither of them have my sympathies or support at all. Neither of them. I don't know whether one of them was responsible and the other one's covering up. I don't know whether Diana was in a domestic violence situation and Christopher's being this all-controlling being that she was terrified of. Having said that, as I've said, she had 3 days to call the cops to get help to report Madalina missing. She could well have been alive at that point. But to wait 3 weeks, and then Christopher saying he didn't know where she was. You know, he'd been away and thought she was at home and didn't know where she was. Well, that's BS as well, because he would have called the cops on the 26th, wouldn't he? You know, if his wife, that he supposedly, if it's a domestic violence situation, if he was beating her up, well, he'd mentally beat her up by calling the cops and getting her put in jail. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a really, really strange story. And in the middle of all of this is 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari, who is missing and has not been seen alive since the 21st of November. That is a long time for an 11-year-old girl to be missing. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say. That's as much as we know about this case at the moment. You know, I guess if either of them post bond, then they'll be out. But Diana Cojocari's got a $250,000 bond, and Christopher Parmiter's got a $200,000 bond. So I can't see them being out anytime soon. And I guess while they're inside, awaiting the system, you know, the criminal justice system to run its course in terms of that charge that they are clearly guilty of, not reporting a missing child is a crime in North Carolina. They're clearly guilty. They're going to do jail time over that. Excuse me. The police will be working behind the scenes to try to find Madalina, or at least find out what happened to Madalina, so that they can pin more charges on these people. Oh, I got a very tickly throat. So, yeah. Yeah, they could pull the equity out of his house or whatever. But could do. Hasn't done as of yet, though. And they have both been in jail since the 27th of November. So they've been in jail a while. They've been in jail a month now. And neither of them have tried to get out. So, unless he took a burner phone, yeah, I guess. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Have to wait and see. But unless one of them or both of them start talking, I feel that we're not going to find any answers. And this could well be a case that becomes another cold case. That's my fear for this case. At least the parents will do some jail time, I guess. But at the end of the day, once they've done that time, if the cops can't find anything else on them, they will obviously be released. But I don't know. I have to wait and see. I hope that one or both of them do start talking and say what happened to Madalina and where Madalina can be found. Hopefully she's alive. But if she's not, at least say where she is so that she can be laid to rest. She has got an extended family that love her very much, that want her back and want to find out what happened to her. So for them, if nothing else, you know, they should come clean and say what happened. Where is she? Where did she go? Where's she been taken? So there you go. That's all I've got for you today. Exactly, Duchess. Yeah, it's cruel. It is. It's cruel. That's exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I don't know how long I've been on. How long have I been on? Oh, I've been on an hour and a half. Didn't think I've been on that long. All right, time flies. I would say time flies when you're having fun, but it's not fun. It's not fun when you're talking about missing children. Another one, yet another one, out there somewhere on her own. And parents didn't even care enough to call the cops. Beggars belief. It drives me insane. Hopefully we do get some answers on this case, though. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave you. Love you and leave you. I'll be back soon. I want to do a live on the Idaho 4 at some point in the next few days. I've been doing daily videos on the Idaho 4, so it's that I've been keeping up with the case, doing videos. The video I had posted a video today on the Idaho 4 if anybody's been looking for an upload, but I put it on members only because yet again this is the third time in the last week that for no reason whatsoever, no reason at all, YouTube put it on limited monetization. I've just got sick of it because it's an automatic thing. It's the bots, it's the YouTube bots that does it. And then I have to request a manual review. Now that can take a day, it can take 2 days. And they always tell me that it's fine. When a human listens to it, it hasn't broken any rules at all. So I got sick of it. So today I've put it on members only so members can watch it. When it's approved, which could be today, it won't be today, probably be tomorrow or the day after. Usually takes about 2 days. Then I'll release it and everybody can watch it. But as of now, it's on members only. Simply because I was pissed off with YouTube, honestly. I'm sick of it. You know, there's nothing, it's not like I break any community standards or any rules at all in my videos. I haven't mentioned any of the censored words at all in that video. When a human listens to it, they'll approve it. The YouTube bots have had too much Christmas wine, obviously. But anyway, I'm going to go. But members can go and watch that video now. And hopefully everybody else will be able to watch it very soon. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for keeping the chat nice and respectful. Thank you to the mods, as always. Thank you for the super chats and welcome to the new members. Did we get 1,000 likes? Oh, we didn't get anywhere near 1,000 likes. So no free membership giveaway. Sorry, guys. When we get to 1,000 likes, then I can give some free memberships away, but nowhere near today. So maybe next time I'll give away some memberships. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye, guys.